Yay! Hi, patrons. Well, you guys know that I'm Rebecca from ChemKnits, and today I am really, really, really excited to play with a new brand of food coloring to me, new colors of food coloring to me, and I think it's going to be just a blast and a lot of fun. If you are able to join, feel free to leave a message in the chat, but you can also leave questions. And I better pop out the chat just so I can see. But you can always leave questions on the Patreon page, and I get notifications about that. So I want to see all chats. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, so it's a new brand of food coloring, new to me, and I think it's going to be fun. And this video, the edited video, will probably come out in September or October. I'm not sure how deep into the filming schedule I am, but I'm really excited to play with them. And the color is looking a little yellowish, but all right, I'm going to pop up and show you guys what we're dealing with today. So I think it was my last live stream where I showed the nifty shades of gray that I got from AmeriColor. And oh, I should turn this around so you guys can see maybe. Okay, so these are 6 AmeriColor colors. We've got ash, fog, stone, slate, gunmetal, and then taupe. And they all, the ingredients lists all look like pretty much the same in that in the order, I think they've all got blue 1, red 40, red 3, yellow 6, yellow 5, and titanium dioxide. Now, even though they all say that they have all these things, I have no idea if the proportions are the same in each of them, just maybe more diluted in the more pastel colors. But here, you can see these were from I took the lids when I removed the seals and popped them on, and you can see, I think, the opaque titanium dioxide in almost all of them. And if I flip it over, I think that gives a better sense of the color. I guess that the ash looks the most green in the way that it's breaking, and then the other ones I see a bit more, oh no, sorry, that's not the ash, because I flipped it, that's the taupe. The taupe looks most green. The grays look a little bit more like, I guess, a broken black. But we're going to do some low immersion dyeing this morning and see how things turn out. Now, the steam pan has become a dedicated dye pan, but I can still use food coloring in it. I just will not be using food coloring utensils. So in the pan, I have 4 cups of water plus, so what, I did 4 cups of water plus 1 tablespoon of vinegar, which is therefore equivalent to the 8 to 2 that I frequently use. And I think we're going to start off, I'm going to add probably a drop or so of each color individually, and then it should only take a moment to heat up because there's so little water in here. But then after, so we'll add like a drop or so of each color individually, and then, you know, maybe we'll add more colors after, but just to get everything heated up. There we go. I'm trying to shake it and shimmy it above the stovetop. So it's still warm enough, or not hot enough that I can do that, but I'm going to keep a close eye on the water level. I do not want to end up with scorched yarn. That would not be good. Move that pan down. And then, oh, hi guys. You can see me down here. I think that for this stream, you guys have a better view of what I'm doing than the filming camera because of the position. But I'd say we're getting pretty warm. Yeah. So the heat is all in the center, so that's why I'm like shifting it now to sort of distribute some of this warmth around. And I've got a spoon where I want to spread things out. Okay, I'm now going to reduce the heat and let's get started. But I guess I told you guys on the stream about the plan, but I'm going to tell the other viewers about that too. But I guess I want to bring these food coloring drops, place them all over here so I have them cool. All right, I turned on the heat and we are getting hot. And I thought it would be fun to start with a drop or two of each of the colors. And then we can always add more as we see how things going. But as an initial peek, this should tell us something. And actually, I'm going to shift this from the way I had it before, but I'll start with the lightest color, which is the fog. And oh yeah, you can see that opaque. It looks like paint. It really does. Okay, so then that, oh, and I got some on my hand, but you can see it really is smeary like paint. I wonder how that will come out, or spread, or what. Okay, so the next is this is the color Stone. Whoops. Which apparently I'm afraid to squirt too much. That one's kind of bubbly. Stone. And then I'm planning to add more, as I said, eventually. But here's our slate color. Then the gunmetal. Wow, that's really viscous. And here's the taupe, which, unlike the others, is definitely more, you know, of a brown tone. Okay, I've kind of got the food coloring arranged on the stove so we can see how it goes. But I think I am now going to give this like a minute, or maybe 2 minutes. Actually, doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to give this, yeah, I'm going to think 2 minutes, and then I might hit them with a spoon. But that should be long enough to let some of the reds just absorb and then maybe start to spread out. The one other thing I want to do is cover this just lightly with some foil, which, there we go. That'll help trap some of the color in, but I will be back in 2 minutes. And viewers at home, right now, I will pop back over here while we wait, because now we can't see it spreading out or anything like that. Yeah, I think that this will be cool. I have no idea how concentrated this might be compared to, say, like the Wilton Colorite system. So the Wilton Colorite system, but I added a total of about 16 drops. That's a fair amount of color. In the recent Dye Pot PS episode, I did not add, I don't remember if it was like 12 or 15 drops of food coloring that I added in there. Maybe it was closer to 15, but still, there was a lot of color saturation from just that. So I'm curious if we'll see things spreading out without me like poking it. My thumb definitely has some color on it. And I mean, parts of my thumb do look gray. So there's that. I'm gonna hide my face a moment so that way I can go, oh, that was the wrong camera. Not that there's much going on right there right now. But I'm going to wash my hand. I just wiped it. Oh, my 2 minutes. Okay, I guess I'm not going to wash my hand. Okay. I'll turn on the other camera. All right. It's been about 2 minutes. And I see a little bit of spread around, let's see. We see some greenish spread around the stone. I can see a hint of spread down there from one of the darker colors, but I'm now going to sort of shimmy this in the liquid. So with this first color, you can see that the shimmy is giving us this chalky white. And that is not the food coloring. That is the titanium dioxide. I do see a hint of a color, and it does look grayish, that is on the yarn. And so here, this time, it's a chalky, more of a chalky blue that's spreading out, and that is the ash. I think that's the one that I got on my finger, which, you know, is actually fairly pigmented. This one, okay, we've now got more of a chalky green in the spread, and that one was stone. Okay, this one is slate, and I think the drops might have been smaller, but these, it's looking more, still like a chalky green, but it looks like there's a bit more red in it. You can see there where I've tapped it, some of the red is spreading out. And then I think this one's the gunmetal. And yeah, this is definitely the most pigmented. And that's actually a really beautiful color that's sort of spreading out around it. It's definitely still more of a teal, but I'm not seeing, it looks like a bunch of the reds have struck, but I'm not necessarily seeing the, like a bright blue yet that I might with black. And here's the taupe. Yeah, and this one we've got a chalky green. Eventually I'll try like dip dyeing to break colors with each of these, but I sort of wanted to do something low immersion just to get a little bit of a feel for them and see about combining them. So are these gray? No. These aren't gray. Are they beautiful? Yeah. I mean, if I have no idea if this powder blue is something that is going to stick around. I'm going to give this, I think, a little more time to sort of absorb, and I can always go through and add more vinegar. I started with only 1 tablespoon because I know with black that's not enough for the blues to absorb, but with blue, with like violet, that proportion is enough. It just depends on if there's enough heat. Yeah, and there's good heat even at the 2 ends. So I think that that's cool. But again, like this chalkiness, that's something that I think would rinse out. So it's hard to know what, woo! Okay guys, that was a little exciting. There was some heat trapped down there. That was, yeah, not necessarily, I'm fine by the way. That did not harm me in the slightest. Oh goodness. Stopping the other camera. Okay, I don't remember what I was saying. So I don't know if the blues will feel brighter after it's absorbed. It might need more vinegar. The proportions that I have here are the proportions that I would use to, say, break Wilton's Violet. But with breaking black, frequently I would need to add a little more vinegar at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and give this a little more time to see if I end up losing a little more of the color, and so it starts looking white versus blue and green. But then I might come and hit it with some more color. So I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 10 minutes, and then we'll see where our yarn is at. But I am going to cover it up. turn off the DSLR, set a timer, and sit down so I can chat to you guys. Yeah, I think that this technique really does have some potential. And I really am fine. I didn't get hit by boiling water or anything, so we're good, thankfully. I think that these colors are nice. They're different from some of the blacks that I've done. But with the chalkiness in there, it's hard to know really how purple these are, or if that is sort of muting things off the back. I also haven't tried AmeriColor black before, and some people have said that they've used it and gotten a gray, which would be pretty cool. Some purples actually end up reading gray on yarn, like Wilton's Grape. I find that looks a little more gray than purple to me, but I think that that is fun, and so I'm glad. I can tell that some people are viewing, but you're under no obligation to comment or anything. That's totally fine. But I'm glad. I hope that this is interesting. It's not a new technique today, but it's a new dye, and yeah, I wanted to just go for it and play with it before I started dip dyeing. And actually, this is kind of helpful because it'll help me learn a little bit about these. Because I feel like with the Wilton gel colors, the icing colors, I have a really good handle and feel on those. So even if it's a color I haven't used before, I know proportions that I like with black, which is probably the most pigmented of the colors. And so, although red could also, a true red would probably be fairly pigmented as well. But, you know, if I'm trying a new color there, then I know how much I want to use. Whereas I don't know how the AmeriColor really compares to, say, McCormick or Wilton or anything like that. So I think that it's fun and cool. And given that there's nothing going on there, I can make my head bigger. So that's what there is right now. And let's see, I wonder if there's any other sneak peeks. While we're waiting to tell you, my thumb is still, I started saving more avocado pits and skins. I had put some just straight in the refrigerator, just wet, and then they like went moldy, so I tossed them. So with these ones, I decided to let them dry a bit before popping them in the fridge. But I'm hoping to collect enough so that way I can do, I guess my rhubarb video hasn't come out yet. That's coming out this week. And so I want to do a combo rhubarb and avocado video. And I think that that would be really cool because if you remember from my avocado dyeing, I got some beautiful, fairly neutral, like peach and tan tones on both cotton and wool. And the spoiler alert, with rhubarb leaves, it didn't really give any color to the cotton at all, but I got a lot of color on the wool. It gave us some like really beautiful, like yellow greenish tones that were pretty saturated on the wool. But I'd heard that rhubarb can be a mordant. The tannins, the oxalic acid can be a mordant. And so I figured if we tried that on cotton and we had one that was just pre-soaked, one that we treated with the rhubarb leaves, and then we'll have to split whatever I extract from the avocado, and we try that on both, that maybe that'll give us some more color from the avocado on cotton. And so I think that would, so that's an experiment that I am planning, but I might not be able to film that until the beginning of September. I don't know. But okay, what else is going on? I started dyeing for the Hanukkah special, which I guess I can't really tell you about those projects because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I've also been thinking about, because I know people asked about like, what pictures can I pull from holidays from my past, and like popped again. I'm gonna peek at it. And what kind of stories I want to tell you guys, and so I'm just having fun with that. I'll have some blue. So you guys can see some blues come out, but we're looking good. There's still plenty of water. I'm going to reduce the heat even more, just in case. Yeah, today I think if I lowered this, then nope, that haze. It's the time of day where sun is streaming through my, like, oh, so this is my sink back here, and so my dishwasher, and so that's sort of like where there's two, I have an island in the kitchen, so I'm either hanging out here or I'm hanging out on the other side of the island against the wall, wherever it makes sense because of how I have the camera set up. And so, yeah. And then the rug, frequently, like if I'm dying a lot in the live stream and everything, it ends up on this rug. But yeah, right now, and oh, the sun came out from behind the clouds. You can see the like blown out spot on the top of my head. Oh, yeah. Sometimes these waiting steps can be a bit longer, but if you're watching the replay, you can fast forward through them or something. But yeah, all of this will be edited because I know that we've got some new patrons at this level, and so all of this will be edited and will be released as a freestanding Die Cut Weekly episode, but without all of my little commentary that's around with it. And after I'm done with this project, or maybe while I'm just letting it like sit or something, when I'm done with this live stream later, it's not a scheduled one, but I will be popping publicly back on the channel to do some dyeing with, I have some leftover tie-dye from when I dyed with Lucas and his friend, and I want to do that, so I'm going to do some my dry rub technique live in shortly when this is done. But I figure that I will keep you guys with me through when I add more colors up there, and then yeah, and then I guess the final yarn will be in the edited video. But yeah, let me know if there's any kind of like steps that you guys would want to see from behind the scenes. Like I might do, I'm not sure if my computer can handle me doing a live stream while I am editing a video, but I might try. Maybe if I do that from my phone, then I can like show a little bit about the, like, you know, when I'm, not that it's necessarily like the editing part is necessarily exciting, but it's another look at like what I'm doing, and I can show how, oh, sometimes I play Candy Crush while I'm like waiting for like a scene to go through and stuff. So yeah, to just give you guys a little peek at, there's about 2 minutes left on the timer, a peek at that part too. But yeah, and I have all of my, you guys saw me open all of my brand new acid dyes. I need to, every couple of months I sit down and I plan out like what the next big series of videos that I'm going to do are, and obviously, you know, I'm working on the Hanukkah special right now, and I have like a rough sketch of that, but I need to figure out, I've like finished a bit of a filming and editing schedule, and so then I need to go through and figure out, okay, what do I want to do going forward? I keep a running list of ideas, so whenever anyone asks me a question and it's something I haven't done or has a suggestion, I add that to the list, which is long. So I also have to go through yarn. I have to go through the list and cross things off that I have done, and it's nice. I mean, there's always, I have no shortage of projects that I want to do. So yeah, but your questions and the answers from Patreon polls and stuff actually really do shape the direction a bit of what I'm doing, because it helps me sometimes pick what I want to work on. But I think the video, I don't remember what video came out today. Oh, it's an overdying roving video that came out just a couple hours ago. Because I think one of the other yarns that we did, that I prepped in one of these live streams, that That's coming up soon. But yeah, overdyeing roving is really, really fun. And I was really excited to share that. But okay, make the timer go away. Make my little head go away. Yeah, so you're getting a sense of my layout because you can see up here that that's where I'm sitting. Relation to the stove. Okay. Oh, I gotta turn the other camera on. It has been 10 minutes, and things look pretty close to the way they did when we left it. I'm trying to think that this gunmetal does remind me, I mean, I guess a lot of these remind me of black. This one seems a bit greener, the stone color. Okay, we've definitely got some blues. That one's pretty white. That one's got a little bit of blue. Yeah. There's definitely some blues left, but I think that that is the way that this project will be. And understandably, you know, you get more and more and more pigment as like we go down, at least with the grays. And I think that these are fun to play with. I'm a little concerned about how the how the titanium dioxide will rinse out, but I think that hopefully it'll be fine. One thing before I add more drops is I'm curious. Okay, you can see some of that teals. Yeah, those have not started to absorb yet, but that's, I don't know if you guys can see, that's all white coming out versus, yeah, and we've got some blues there. Okay, so, oh, I know, you spot. I think at this point, I'm about to add more color, but I think I also want to add more vinegar. And for viewers that are watching now, I stopped the video to give myself a clean point because in the video descriptions, I always like to give sort of a table of contents, and having breaks in the video files can help with that. Okay. I think I want to go ahead and add, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more tablespoons of vinegar, just sort of sprinkling it on just to help the colors absorb. At the beginning, I didn't want things to absorb too quickly because I wanted to be able to get a feel of how they were breaking and that, you know, do they look similar to the blacks? Do they not? And yeah, so I think more vinegar will help some of those blues bind. But now I want to go through and I'm just going to add a bunch of drops. And sort of randomly. Okay, so that was 4 of fog. Oh. Okay, that was about 4 of the ash. So this is stone. If I was wearing gloves, then I would not be as... This one has some more air in it. That was the stone. If I was wearing gloves, I wouldn't be getting this all over my hand. Slate. And new one here. Yeah, these ones like have a bit of air. Maybe they're just thick. Okay, this is the gunmetal. Gave us those deep, big purples. You can see I'm adding on the edges. I don't mind if there's some white left behind, but okay. I didn't really count very well on that one. And then I'm going to add some more of the taupe. So at some point, I do hope to do some, that edge. I do hope to do some dip dyeing with these so that way we can learn a little more about them. But now I'm going to let this, I'm going to cover it up and let this go for 10 minutes, and then I'll come and poke it. Set the timer. Wash my hands. And I do want to take a picture. A lot of times I take a lot of pictures while I'm dyeing, and sometimes I don't share them on Instagram. Definitely not Insta. Sometimes it's a while before I share them. But let me go, I can also show you guys. Here are, again, the dots that we started with, and you can see them spreading a little bit more. So, yeah, this is our first play with it. I mean, is it sufficiently different from some of the other blacks? Maybe not. I was trying to be a little optimistic that maybe it would look gray, because some people had said that the AmeriColor black looked gray, and you know, we'll have to see how they rinse out, but they're definitely behaving like a black. I'm still definitely going to buy the AmeriColor black because I want to, I sort of want to see how it, it breaks in comparison with some of the other colors that we've done, if it feels similar or not. Because each company, they all use the same ingredients, but the proportions that they use are different, and those proportions can give differences in the breaking. But I hope that you enjoyed this little sneak peek at my first time playing with the nifty shades of gray. I think that this yarn is going to be really, really cool, and yeah, I can't wait to, I guess, edit the video and show you that. Thank you so much for being patrons. I greatly appreciate everything that you do to support me and the channel. And after a short break and like reset, I will come back and I'll be starting a public video on the channel. So if you want notifications there, turn on the notifications, because this one's unlisted. So that's why only you guys see it. But then the next one that I do, if you just go to the channel page once I'm live, you should see the little thumbnail. So, but I can't imagine it would take me more than 30 minutes to get started on that one. But anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and maybe I'll chat with you soon. Bye, everyone.